Hi beauties, welcome to the channel. This is Silvercrown Beauty, and this is all about modesty fashion and modesty beauty tips, as well as natural beauty and how to level up by finding your unique qualities and your unique style that resonates with you. Sometimes it can be very difficult in finding a style because there's a lot of different styles, a lot of different body types, and I am actually going to create a video that's all about the body types as it relates to style, as it relates to clothes, because the designers that are making the clothes make the clothes to fit a woman's body a certain way. So depending on your style, you might have to make some small modifications. I am a firm believer on slim wear and girdles because the way the clothing is made to fit a certain silhouette, especially more structural clothing. So today we're going to really dive a little deep into what is modesty fashion and how you can find your unique style and look. There's a lot of different styling options out there that just did not exist before. I mean, nowadays, you have quite a number of maxi dresses, maxi looks, maxi skirts. But however, if you're gonna wear any of these, you must also invest in slim wear, quality slim wear that's going to give you that nice feminine shape, as well as diet and exercise. Diet and exercise is very important on maintaining a shape and allowing your clothes to fit really good on you. So when it comes to like finding a style, there's bohemian, there's classic, there's vintage. Like if you like the vintage look, like the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, that's a more of a vintage look, which is a very beautiful look as well. So there's limited possibilities when it comes to like fashion modestly, when it comes to like your style and still being in a modest apparel. Like for me, it took me a minute. It took me a minute to really discover like my style. I really love a lot of like edgy kind of looks sometimes. You know, they would call it edgy, or they would call it like flair, or like I said, bohemian. There's times where I like romanticism. That's more like if you're like into the Victorian area with the big dresses. And I also love the classic look too. You like a lot of, sometimes with work, I wear a lot of classic pieces that would consist of a lot of more blouses and skirts, and blazers. Sometimes those fit into the more of the classic structural look. But then there's also times I like the flowy look. I love the California vibe. I visited California, you know, last year in the spring, and it's such a relaxed atmosphere that everything seems to be a little bit more bohemian because of the atmosphere, the environment. So it really does play a role in maybe sometimes where you live as well. In Philadelphia, where I stay at, it's pretty much more on everything. People here are not, they're more so urban. It's a more of an urban look. So for me, like, because I'm also a gypsy, I'm more of a gypsy, I'm more of a bohemian style, even though I can pull off the classics because I love my classics too, ladies. But I know for me, bohemian it allows me to express my personality. So when you're looking for your modesty apparel or your modesty clothing, you really have to kind of look into your personality. Your personality dictates the type of clothing. All designers build clothing structured around a look, a certain look that they like for their line of clothing. So Free People, for example, is definitely more bohemian. That is definitely a much more bohemian, slightly Western look. So they cater their look to more of that free-flowing type style. So once you discover your style, the type of style that looks good on you, because again, it also plays a role in your personality. So that's why for me, I can do the bohemian because it's more of my personality. My personality is a lot more free-flowing and a little bit non-structural. So I love bohemian clothing. So for me, that definitely works for me and my style because it's part of my personality. So when you're looking for a style of fashion modesty clothing, you have to look at your personality and also sometimes your job too, because maybe what you might wear on your job is not the same that you might wear at work. Or vice versa, you might wear a different look at church or a different look for an event that you may not wear at your job. So depending on your job, because of course if you're in a nursing or medical, then you might wear more scrubs all the time. You may not have a choice on what you can wear. But if you have like more of a position that allows you to have more freedom with your look, then you definitely can take advantage of being more creative when it comes to looking at a modest style that incorporates like a part of your personality. So doesn't mean that you can't change, because as a woman we can change. Like, you know, if we're feeling this look sometimes, we can kind of go towards this look sometimes, but it also resonates what your personality is. That's the bottom line to it all. So I definitely believe that you got to make sure that one, and I'll talk more about this in another video because it's going to take longer to explain like each category. There's cottagecore, there's bohemian, there's classic, there's vintage, there's edgy, there's rock and roll. Even though we are going to be a little bit more conservative with these looks, definitely a more Western look, because if you go down to certain areas like Texas, they're going to have a more Western type vibe. So therefore they may have a cowgirl hat, or they may have cowgirl boots. You know, they're going to incorporate a little bit of what is traditionally worn in certain areas. Like I was mentioning, California is a little bit more bohemian. They have a more flowy style because of the beach. There's a lot of beaches in California, so therefore they definitely have a little bit more flowy style when it comes to certain areas. New York, if you go to New York, it's definitely a little bit more edgier. So you can pretty much have all different types of looks in New York because it resonates, you know, the New York vibe. I've done the New York vibe before, so I'm pretty experienced with that whole vibe. But in New York, because it's such the fashion district or capital, one of the fashion districts of the world, and definitely has a little bit more of everything in the mix. So the definite bottom line to it all is finding a modest look that resonates with you, that also is your personality. So when you look into the clothing and you really look at the clothing, get a feel of what the clothing makes you feel like. So this is how you can start to develop a style that is definitely unique to yours. And you know, and I'm showing you so many examples as you can see, but definitely you have to find a style that is unique to what you're looking at. And if you're struggling in that area, then when you try on clothes, like when you try on clothes, or you look at the clothes, how it looks on the model, that is like, especially if you're doing a lot of online shopping, then definitely look at how the clothes fit on the model. Most of the time, these models, unless it's a plus size type of clothing store or line, or that particular outfit is plus size, most of them are going to be very tall and very small framed, you know. So therefore, what the outfit might look like on the model is not how it's going to look like on you, depending on your size. So you have to be very cognizant and considerate of how the clothes fit, the material as well. So modesty, so when you're looking at modesty fashions really can be anything, as far as long as it's conservative. It's not so much as that you have to look a certain way, like you cannot wear this, you cannot wear that, because as long as the dress is not tight fitted, and as long as it's not showing, like for example, if you can tell, this has a very square like neckline. However, I have dressed this up with like a turtleneck as well. It's a half turtleneck. So this is the type of turtlenecks that you can actually get from Shein, and I can leave a link, you know, in one of the descriptions on this video, because a lot of times when you have like dresses that are like open like this, you can still buy these dresses as long as you get the pieces that can cover up your body, because absolutely you don't want to be showing all of this. If I did not have this on, you would see all of the cleavage. So that is what we don't want. So you can still dress very fashion forward with your modesty apparel, but making sure that you are covering up your body. At the end of the day, it's all about making sure you have a very conservative, you know, you're covering up your body, you're not showing your body, and you also dress like you want, like meaning it's a beautiful dress that makes you feel your best in. So don't be ashamed, ladies, of picking out a nice, beautiful dress that resonates with your personality and help you feel and look your best. At the end of the day, it's all about being a high valued woman who dresses for success. Like, you know, you dress for success in your everyday life. You care about yourself. You care about your appearance. You care that, you know, that you take pride in how you look, because that is what a high valued woman is. Like, she is very detail oriented, she's very concerned about her looks, and not that she's prideful, because we, as you know, women who value themselves as with traditional values, we're not prideful, but we are very concerned that how we look, you know, are we neat, are we clean, are we professional when we need to be, you know, are we dressed for the occasion? You know, sometimes, you know, you might be underdressed for the occasion because you're like, oh, it doesn't really matter, it's not important. But you are representing yourself, and you want to always make sure that you are valued and appreciated, and not giving people a reason to maybe make you feel a certain way, you know. So just always be concerned with that. But definitely when it comes to Modesty Fashions itself as a whole, there is a lot of options out there. There's a lot of stores. You got Zara, you got Amazon, and in fact, you know, a similar dress like this is actually on Amazon. I think this dress is sold out. If you like this dress that I'm currently wearing right now, you know, this dress is available on Shein. Not sure if it's still available, but I will link a few links that show like similar outfits as well, because these are the new fashion colors. These are the new fall colors, ladies. So, you know, of course, you know, as the seasons change, you know, as the seasons do change, you know, and as the colors, the fall colors come out, it's always like warm autumn, orange, browns, tans, neutrals, dark browns, you know, different shades of yellow, gold, you know, anything that is like around the colors of fall will definitely give you a brighter look to you as well. It'll give you a more glued up look, because you're seasonally dressing. So as you seasonally dress and you dress the colors that resonate with the type of season that we're in, then you're gonna always feel like part of the season. So ladies, I really do appreciate you coming, and I hope you found value in these tips today on Modesty Fashion, and I look forward for you in the next video. And in the next video, we're going to continue on this topic of Modesty Fashions, because a lot of people have a little bit of a misconception when it comes to Modesty Fashion. They don't know that they can dress very beautifully with being modest. Modest simply really means you are covering up your body. You're not showing really a tight silhouette. You're not really wearing the mermaid dresses that just accentuate the hips and, you know, and all of that. So, however, you don't have to feel like you have to look frumpy either. You know, you can dress as beautifully as you can, you know, and also affordably. There's a lot of affordable options out there. You got thrift stores, you have, you know, very affordable stores. Shein is a very affordable store. I mean, sometimes their quality is a little sketchy, but depending on your price point, they do have some very nice pieces. They really do. So you just have to be careful of make sure you look at the reviews, you know, because if someone says, you know, it's cheap quality, stay away from it. Even if it's $10-15, because what you don't want is to invest your money into something that you're going to have to rebuy, or it's going to tear up on you and it's not going to last. You want to make sure that any type of clothing you get, you are getting the best for your buck, because you don't want to just keep having to buy a new wardrobe every time something tears up or doesn't hold up in the wash, you know. Unless you're planning on hand washing your clothes and hanging them up, that's the only really time that you can get a lot of wear out of your clothes. So at the end of the day, it's all about femininity. It's all about looking beautiful, and it's all about the natural beauty of a woman who does not have to feel like she has to compromise her stand of being holy, you know, striving to please God and looking and feeling her best. You know, I am all for the natural skincare. I'm all for, you know, a woman treating herself well and pampering herself and taking time for herself. Ladies, spend some time just for you. Don't feel as though you have to rush through life and you just cannot take time to pamper yourself some days. A nice, hot, affordable bubble bath in your own home is just as luxurious than going to the spa. So spend some time, you know, just treating yourself well for the day, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, on leveling up and being a high valued woman. So I hope you enjoyed this video today, ladies. I will see you on the next video. Once again, thank you for all my new subscribers, and I truly thank you for all the support, and I'll see you on the next video. So bye for now.